Welcome back, guys, to Pastor's Coffee. This is episode 22 now. Back over the phone. Wish we were still together. But, Stiff, how has your week been?
It's been good. I was thinking of my week before, even after that podcast. Sadly, taking the L after we talked to you that you were going to get the L in the football game. But
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at the time.
We should have stayed quiet, too. So, but no, it was fun. That was good to see everybody. But yeah, back to reality kind of this week.
Yep.
And so it's been a good week. We bought a mower today because we needed one.
Yep.
So that was fun. I'm turning into a dad. I'm kind of excited to use a mower now, which is yeah. I don't know if I like that, but yeah. We'll get into it a little later. But the Thunder, number 1 seed in the West, hopefully making a deep playoff run. But other than that, Sunday, it's a pretty chill week for me. I don't have anything Sunday teaching wise. We have a speaker from I think Israel. He's doing a thing about Israel. So that'll be good. But
there's a lot going on there right now. Yeah.
But I don't have to teach, which that's always good for me. It's nice, relaxing.
Yeah.
Brooks is never jealous of that at all.
Not gonna make a comment. Yeah.
And before you say it, I worked on my master's this week.
Found it. There you go. Good job.
Anyways, how's your week going?
Oh, it's been great. It really has. Pretty busy this week. I got to play in a golf scramble for the church as a fundraiser. My brother and I did it, which was pretty special. And then we played in a softball game, church softball that's been going on. And that is not basketball for me. But I'm having a good time. Yep. And I had to teach yesterday. We had a good service. Then Sunday's my ordination.
Yeah.
So special time coming up to get that behind me, and then we can start all the other stuff that comes after that. So looking forward to getting that over with. But it's been a good week. Been a good week so far.
Yeah, we I forgot about softball. Well, we had batting practice.
Did you?
I haven't hit a softball in forever, so it was a little rusty.
I wish we got some batting practice because I'm rough right now. I started getting it this past game because we've done it 2 weeks now. Yeah. But it's not my best sport.
First game coming up Monday, so I'm excited.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be good.
Can't go wrong with slow pitch softball, man.
That's right. Under the lights and in the evenings, it's awesome. One thing that I did want to ask you about, and you've probably seen it. It seems like every Christian podcast or church is talking about it right now, but it's kind of a bigger issue in my mind that we'll talk about. But did you see? It was a men's conference, or it could have been. I don't know if it was a Stronger Men's Conference. It was in Missouri. It was this past weekend, I think. They brought on a performer to open up the show. I think before him, they brought on a monster truck driver, and they were driving. And part of this, I don't know where they're at or where they, switch the stage to be able to make that happen. It's amazing. They got a ton of money in it. But then they bring up a guy. They bring up a guy who I think we heard that he was had been on a lot of America's Got Talent shows and stuff like that. But he is a sword swallower, which that in itself, okay. But then he has a pole, and he starts taking his clothes off, and he's like he's pole dancing, and just involved with some stuff that really shouldn't be in a Christian conference.
Yeah.
Whether or not that stuff is wrong or not, to have that open a Stronger Men's Conference, when regardless you're talking about roles, and you could get into so many different directions with this conversation. I mean, it's crazy that we're even talking about this.
It is crazy.
Stripping is wrong, obviously, but you kind of associate it with females most of the time. So now you're kind of putting it with a man, and it's supposed to be a Stronger Men's Conference. What kind of message are you sending before I kind of give my take on everything, did you see it? One, and what are your thoughts on it? Where are we going as the
Um,
church?
well, I did see that video. I only watched a little bit of it because I thought it was getting a little too far for me to even be to still watch it. I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
I didn't know at the time that I was watching it. I just heard that it was a conference. I didn't even know it was a Christian conference.
right, right.
And so then I would read down the comments, and well, just to be blunt, they was like, "Oh, is this like a gay conference for
Yeah,
men?" And I
yeah,
was like, "What
right,
is
right.
going on?"
Yeah.
And then I learned it was a Christian conference. I was like, "What is going on here?"
Yeah, yeah,
And I mean, usually when we're talking about entertainment in the church, we're usually talking about, the wrong type of entertainment is when we get, all the flashing lights, we're making a big show about it. But this is to a
maybe some
different
music,
level.
maybe some crazy
Yeah.
music, or
But
yeah,
this is getting to another level. I don't even know how. I don't even know how, as if someone, whoever put this together, how you first think about, okay, a storage swallower. If they brought monster trucks, that's not really crazy. I mean, for them, it would be crazy for me.
yeah,
But for them, I guess I don't know if that's like what they intended it. It just, I don't know
yeah,
how you can look at the guy and see what he's done in the background and be like, oh yeah, that'd be good to bring to a Strongest Man
yeah.
conference. Um,
I mean,
but
I,
I mean, there's really not even a discussion with what are they doing? Like, um, but it's just crazy how this world keeps on, and in the Christian community. I mean,
yeah,
do we even want to call these people Christians? I don't know, but you know, anyway, that was my initial. I was like, should I even continue watching this video because I thought it was getting a little too far? And
right,
imagine,
right.
I'm just glad I wasn't there in person
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that would have been weird.
It's
So
awkward.
anyway,
Um, I mean,
you
yeah,
go.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, it'd be one thing to see Gravedigger pull up to Mount Vernon Baptist Church and do donuts in the field. It's a whole different thing to be showing Magic Mike, on the big
Yeah,
screen,
yeah, yep.
So, um, I um, I think my thoughts on it, and again, we can kind of have some back and forth here. Um, my first thought was I was shocked to see kind of the aftermath of it. Okay, so
I
I
didn't
don't
see
know the
the aftermath.
pastors. I don't know that, right. So to give you some context, I don't know the pastor's name, but when when I saw the pastor, I was kind of expecting maybe a young guy, not really mature, and he's just kind of have this idea and he's trying to entertain people. But this is an older guy. I don't know
Yep,
how old, but he's been around. He's
yep.
been a pastor a long time, from what I understand. Don't know him super well. Don't even know his name. I should have had that ready. But he's an old guy, and he's been around enough to really understand church culture and church climate and just how to be a believer. But then the guest speaker, the speaker for the event, I think his last name's Driscoll. Yeah, Mark Driscoll. Um, he's been a pastor for a while, and I believe he's been in some controversy. He got let go from his past church um, for I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm not even going to say it, but it was something to do with kind of gender roles. That same thing, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of ironic that it's a stronger men's conference that this is going on. But
Mhm.
Driscoll gets up there and kind of calls it out and just says, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but I agreed with a lot what he was saying. What's the message that we're saying? He's calling it like the spirit of Jezebel, and I don't get into all of that, but like,
Yeah.
um, but but he rebuked it and he tried to correct it. Um, but my problem was the pastor that was leading the event. He gets up there afterwards and he quotes Matthew 18 and he says, "Oh, if you had a problem with something that I did, you should have went to me, not the whole congregation." When if an elder is wrong, you're supposed to call it out in front of the congregation. If he's led them astray, you already put this in front of everybody. So now
Yeah.
everybody's accountable to it. Now you have to address it in front of everybody to make it right. If you have a problem that he sinned against the whole congregation, which in my view he did, he's got to address it in front of everybody. And then you talk with him later as well. But this is the only chance you have to make it right. You have to address it from then.
As a guest speaker,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not his church. So for
Yeah.
him to say his conviction, he can't wait till next Sunday to talk to him first, because he's not going to see these people again.
Yeah.
So I think this one thing, it's wrong, period. There's no doubt about it, regardless of anything. But I think there's a bigger kind of issue with our churches, and most of the time we contribute it to music and, like you said, lights and stuff like that. But there's so much bigger issues out there that we're starting to see, because we're trying so hard to keep people's attention, when in reality, the Bible is living and it's God breathed and it's the bread of life. And if people want to be spiritually fed, you open up the book. And if that's what people are seeking after, I mean, you can get anybody to pack a venue if you're offering stuff.
Yeah.
You can't get everybody to follow Jesus. I'd love for it to happen, but God calls, and the Spirit leads. But then the believer is responsible to believe. The man is responsible to believe. That's our responsibility. I saw one Easter service, and I hate to drop names, but it's, I mean, he's big enough. You're rubbing off on me, but Mike Todd, I think is his name, Pastor Mike Todd. He gets in a lot of stuff like this. And again, I don't want to completely slam him, because I've heard sometimes where he has decent messages. I've heard some stuff with him that's okay theologically every once in a while. I hate to be that blunt, but just but most of his stuff is stretched. He became a believer in his late in his life, and didn't have a whole lot of education. And I just don't feel like he knows the Bible as well as he needs to be leading other people. But regardless, God can call and equip who he wants to. And if he's called Mike Todd, then God bless him. But his Easter service, I don't remember if it was him, but it was like brought these dancers, and he made this play, and he was switching the genders of all the people in the play. Like, a lot of the disciples were played by girls at that point. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were even kind of portraying Jesus as a woman, and we're trying all these different things, to be relevant in the culture. They did for Super Bowl Sunday. And I know a lot of churches do, like, wear your jersey to church or whatever. I don't have too big of an issue with that. Some people will say, well, you're making that your God. This is church, and you're making football like above church. I'm not going to go that far with it. But what I will say is, I saw some people in jerseys on Super Bowl Sunday and hiking the Bible like it was a football and throwing it across the stage. I did see that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, there's so much right now, and it's picking up mainstream because they're packing these auditoriums and centers out. And that's what's getting the run time and the media share, is these things. And we've got to really crack down on our philosophy of ministry. And I think this starts with every church. We are the universal church, but me and you are accountable to our local church, how we lead, where we've been placed, and I think that's where our philosophy of ministry comes into play. Does it matter more to us to pack our places out, get thousands of people to show up with no spiritual fruit, or get less than 100, but have them on fire for the Lord and wanting to share it further? Those 1,000 people, it stops right there when they leave the door. But our 100 people keeps going until they get called home. What really matters, so entertainment, man, it's very dangerous. Like, we've talked about this with youth events. I'll just share my numbers. I mean, I get 20 to 25 on a Sunday night, typically, sometimes less than that. But I put on a tournament night, and we play basketball and cornhole, and I get almost 50. We have 48. There's not a coincidence there. It's easier to get people in the door when you offer entertainment. Reading scripture is not necessarily entertainment. It's just not, but it's living, and it's beneficial, and it's lasting. The basketball game, entertainment, you're going to forget about it. The Bible, I mean, 2 Timothy 3:16, 17, I mean, it's profitable. It's going to last. It's God breathed. And if we believe that, it's going to affect what we make priorities and what we do.
For
So
sure.
yeah, anything else you have on that? It's just been something I've been convicted about.
Oh yeah.
Just where we're going.
I think it's something for us important to realize, not just for us, but for churches in general, is to, when you do look at your church, then, don't just say, we do this with our personal selves as well, but don't just say, oh, well, at least we didn't have a stripper, or we didn't have,
Sure.
whatever. So we can do, the lights, we can get real fancy with it and make that the focus of our worship. When
Yep, you can
still,
scale yourself. Mm-hmm.
you just still remind yourself that Christ is ultimately the focus of our worship.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you do, I'm not saying it's wrong, to have great sounding music, great
Sure.
looks.
Sure.
You want your sanctuary to look great. We do different things, but when it becomes the focus of what you're there for, that's when you get wrong with it.
Becomes
Obviously,
a production.
yeah. And so this instant, obviously, this is just wrong either way. This just horrible thing for it to happen at especially a Christian conference. But when we do look at our own churches, don't just look at that and just say, oh, at least we're not doing that. Still keep the focus on Christ and where it needs to be.
Well, I think we've just made the church a business. I mean, that's just what it is, and again, we do this as a full-time thing. We've got to be able to live on it. I mean, I completely understand that. I could not do this for free, what I do. It's as far as the hours that I'm doing, because I'm obligated to provide for my wife, and to be able to survive, we have to get compensated. But again, if compensation is what's driving you, and that's what a lot of churches are turning into, that's what a lot of big time mega pastors are going after, it seems like now, and it's really sad to see. And man, when this was happening in Christ's time, he came in and flipped the tables. And when you're turning it into this, it's a one time where we've seen Christ's righteous anger in Scripture was this very issue right here, was commercializing his place, his holy place, his home, the house of the Lord. I mean, it has to have that same holiness. The building is not special, I get that, but the people in there are righteous because of Christ, and we have to show that righteousness through our worship and the things that we are entertaining ourselves. And if we're just packing it out to just be there, it's not beneficial than just staying at home doing whatever. So I just it's very, very tough to see some of the directions that's going. I saw one guy release. I really like listening to Mike Winger. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he kind of has a podcast on YouTube, and he's solid. He's sound. But yeah, he was kind of going after Benny Hinn and talking about kind of the commercializing stuff, and it's just kind of wide to talk. Maybe we can talk about that another week because that's kind of a larger topic. But man, churches can be so manipulative, and we wonder why people have the horror stories that they do because the focus wasn't where it needed to be.
Yeah.
And I just don't want that to be said of us. I don't think it ever would be. But you look at these people and you criticize them, but man, they were a decision or two away from where we were, and then it just kept going, and it's hard to stop once you've started it.
Yeah.
So it's a sobering reminder, and it's a conviction that I hope I hold on to.
Yeah. And I mean, prop to the guy who at least tried to rebuke it. I mean, that took some nerve.
Oh,
I mean,
goodness. That place was packed. That place was packed. Yeah.
And to get up with the mic and, to say, I don't even know what he said, but at least tried to rebuke it. I'm sure, and we talked
a lot of courage. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what a crazy, it's crazy that we have to have a conversation like that.
Yeah.
And we usually, we usually talk about, the lights and whatever, but to get to that level, I mean, that's just,
it's nuts. Yeah.
It's insane. So, but anyway, anything else you want to say about that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned in the beginning, we're again going to take break from the draft because something special, especially for Brooks, as a basketball guy.
Favorite time of the year.
It's his time of the year. I'm also excited, especially since the Thunder are number 1 seed. But I haven't been getting into basketball till recently. So, but I'm excited as well. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of go back to like kind of what we were doing for NFL. And this won't take us as long as the NFL because we might not even be able to do this next week because they might still be going on.
They will be, yeah.
So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna predict first round games, and we're gonna give how many games we think it will go to, and then there's 8 series that are going to be going on. So, kind of going back to that format, but this time I will go first, just for you. Since you went first the whole time during.
I appreciate that.
I'll go first this time. So
I really appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, obviously, we're going to start with the Western Conference. We don't even know who the Thunder or the Celtics are playing yet, technically, either. So, the Thunder's...
Go ahead and pick who you think will win. Go ahead and pick who you think will win this next playing game. Yeah. So
the next playing game? Okay.
So you can pick the Browns.
Okay. So, I think the Kings will win the West playing. Pelicans don't have Zion.
That's yep.
So we're both going Kings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, I'm gonna say Kings.
So let me do that. Let's go ahead and do the Eastern Conference play-in then real quick. Bulls and Heat. I forgot I was going first. I'm used to you going first. I'm going to go Heat because Jimmy Butler's the guy. Of course, now he has the MLS.
Well, that's what I was about to tell you. He's going to be out a couple weeks. So that's the only it'd be a no-brainer for me. Yeah. But without him, that's a tough call.
I'm going to go Bulls then. If they don't got Jimmy Butler is a different person in the playoff. So I'm going to go Bulls. It doesn't really matter who wins this because they're losing.
Right, Celtics are.
I think we're going to agree on that. But
yeah.
We'll count this towards.
I'm gonna still take
the Heat
in a dogfight just because I don't like that matchup with Bam. I don't think Vucevic can do anything with him. I'm gonna still take the Heat, but man, if Butler doesn't get back for any of those games, Celtics will sweep them. Yeah. So if he does get back, that's a series. If he does get back, that's a series. Yeah.
Because Jimmy Butler in the playoffs is.
Oh man.
He's different.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And it wouldn't surprise me if he stretches it. If they can get him in to the playoffs, I don't know how the extent of his injury. They were saying a couple of weeks. He'll push it to get back. He'll push it. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the Western Conference. We both have the Thunder playing the King. You know my pick. I'm going Thunder.
Yeah.
I personally think the Thunder will make the NBA Finals. I think they have the power to do it, but it's the NBA playoff, so it really could go anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna go Thunder. Are we picking the games or just?
Oh yeah, sorry. I think I don't think they'll sweep them either. I think it'll go. I think it'll go to 5. Okay.
I think this series is going to be a dogfight. 2 young teams. If it is the Kings, if Zion was healthy, I'd take the Pelicans and I'd pick them to win because I don't see the Thunder having anybody that could stop him. But you have to match up with Brandon Ingram. That'd be a tough matchup. They are really thankful that Zion is out. But I'm going to still take, just because of Sabonis and Fox, it's a tough matchup. I'm going to go Thunder in 7. I think it's a really tough matchup for them, but I think they'll get it done.
Okay. Number 4 seed Clippers going against the number 5 Mags. Not Mags. I don't know.
Mags. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think Luka's that guy.
Me too.
So I'm taking the Mavs. I think this one will be closer. as what I think this one will be in 6, though. I think Luka gets it done.
No disagreement there. I've got Mavs in 6. I don't think that they have enough to guard Kyrie and Luka at the same time. They're going to focus everything on Luka. I expect Kyrie to have a big series. I'm taking Mavericks in 6.
Next one, I think the Timberwolves win. The Timberwolves have been kind of nasty this year, and Anthony Edwards is that guy.
Yep.
I think this one might go to 7, though. I'm going to say in 7. Just because the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards is just such a young player. Kevin Durant has done it before. Bradley Beal, not so much, but and Devin Booker has been there. So I know you love Devin Booker too. So anyways, I say Timberwolves in 7.
I'm going to disagree with you here. I hope I'm wrong. Hope you're right, because I think that'd be a much better matchup for my Lakers in round 2. I think the Suns team is built for the playoffs. I'm going to go Suns in 6. I just don't think the Timberwolves have enough wing defenders to stop Bill, KD, and Booker. And they've got Nurkic underneath. They've got some size. He can pass well. That's a series that I'm scared of. I hope the Timberwolves win, but I'm a prediction's sake, I'm going to go Suns.
Okay. This next one.
Be careful here.
We're gonna have a disagreement here.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I just
have
the
some
Lakers.
Courage. Have some courage.
Listen. I love Bron. Me and you are on the same page about Bron, but the other players on the team. That's what we gotta look at.
Yep.
I'm taking the Nuggets, and
are you not even giving them a shot?
I'm hating to get. I'm taking it in Game 5.
5 games.
I know.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Bron's gonna have some crazy game. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna circle the Lakers for you now.
Yeah, you can go ahead and just put that down. I got Lakers in 6.
In 6.
And I got the Lakers before anybody says anything about me not predicting this. The Lakers are going to win the championship this year. LeBron's going to get his 5th ring. We've got the perfect scenario because we won't. I think we have such an easy path after the Nuggets. Now, Nuggets is a tough team to play. It's the toughest team. This is the finals right here. So we have to play the finals in the first round. It's the best team in the league. But you get past them, and you get the Timberwolves or the Suns next, and I think we match up very good with them. Mavericks would be my pick to get through to the conference finals. And we'll talk about that later on, depending on what all happens. But I think the Lakers are going to get there. I think Gabe Vincent is the Jamal Murray stopper. AD has been hearing all the talk about Jokic dominating him, and he's going to have something to say about it. So we're going to take the Lakers in 6.
It pains me to say that, but
can't believe you did it.
I'm sorry. The Nuggets are just nasty. You can't. That duo is insane.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and circle the Celtics for both of us. And I'm saying a clean sweep for me. I don't know about you, but
I'm gonna go in 4 just because I don't think I'm banking. If it's the Bulls, for sure, 4 games.
Yeah.
The Heat, I have enough respect for Spoelstra to maybe get them 1 game, but without Jimmy Butler, we're gonna say 4 games.
Okay. Now this is a matchup here. Number 4 seed Cavs and number 5 seed Magic. Young teams here.
Yeah.
I personally am going to take the Cavs here. I think Donovan Mitchell is like that, and I think this will go to 6. It wouldn't shock me if the Magic won.
I have the Cavs too. I just think the Magic are a little bit too young. I love Banchero, and I think they're going to be good for the years to come. Just don't think they're ready just yet. The Cavs have a ton of size. You got Mobley and Jared Allen down there. So they've got a lot of guys to throw at Banchero. I'm going to take the Cavs in 5. I think it'll be pretty pretty one-sided.
Number 3 Bucks versus number 6 Pacers.
I'm very convicted on this one.
Right.
Giannis is going to miss game 1 at least.
Yeah. If he comes back, I think it's a no-brainer.
Sure. Agreed.
So I'm still going to take the Bucks. I think they're going to struggle, and I'm going to give them game 7 as well.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Bucks in 7. And I don't feel great about that because the Pacers have had their number this year. And you add Siakam, you add some guys to throw it.
Giannis the Pacers could make a run.
I could see it going the other way, which before all this I would have never said, but we'll go Bucks in 7.
Number 2 Knicks versus 76ers. I'm taking the Knicks.
Yep.
I don't think Embiid just came back not too long ago. And is he out again or no?
No, he played yesterday, so I think he's good to go from here.
Okay. I'm going to take that in 6.
I'm going to take the upset here. I'm going to go Sixers. I'm going to take Sixers in 6 just because I don't have anybody for Embiid. Maxey puts a ton of pressure on him. If Embiid is okay, which it seemed like he was yesterday, he looked fine. I'm going to take the Sixers. I just don't think the Knicks have enough. Brunson's great, but now you put Kelly Oubre on him all game and you throw some other wing defenders at him. You get a whole series to stop him. There's not too much outside him. Julius Randle's out. So I'm going to take the Sixers.
Okay. Been a while since we've done a little bit of this.
I know, it's cool.
So I think we'll do that. Yeah, we'll come back to that in 2 weeks. Well,
yeah, it usually take about 2 weeks.
Because I don't know when the second round starts.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see with the way we do our podcast here.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what we got this week. So next week we'll probably do another draft. We'll have something to talk about. But something for the people who've stayed this long, the whole 33 minutes. We are at 952 views total on YouTube. We only need 48 more views to get to 1,000, which is a cool accomplishment. Never would have thought we would have got to that. Only 2 episodes in. And so that's something to look out for. Maybe next week we'll hit the old 1K. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to check out our social media at Pastor's Coffee. And we thank you guys again for just listening to us talk because we get to talk every week.
If you're not subscribed, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Listen to him. Okay. So, but thank you guys again for listening. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you all.